The story begins in the Galactic Council chambers on the planet Nexus Prime. Ambassador Kira from the peaceful Villani species stands before the emergency assembly. Her blue skin is pale with fear as she delivers the terrible news. The Ravagers have returned, she announces. They destroyed 3 of our mining colonies in the Outer Rim. Millions are dead. The Council erupts in panic. The Ravagers are a brutal warrior race that the galaxy thought was extinct. They had disappeared 50 years ago after destroying entire star systems. Now they're back with bigger ships and deadlier weapons. Council leader Dex, an elderly reptilian, calls for order. What do our military advisors suggest? General Voss, a tall insectoid warrior, shakes his head. Our combined fleets cannot match their firepower. The Ravagers have evolved. Their ships can destroy planets now. The chamber falls silent. Every species represented here, the wise Altans, the technological Nexians, the diplomatic Villani, all are known for their peaceful ways. None are warriors by nature. Then a young aide rushes in with a datapad. Sir, we've received a response to our galaxy-wide distress call. From whom? Asks Dex. From Earth. The humans want to help. The council members look at each other with confusion. Most have heard of Earth only in whispered stories. Tales of a deathworld inhabited by creatures so dangerous that even thinking about their planet gives nightmares. The Deathworlders? Gasps Ambassador Kira. Are we that desperate? The human response. Meanwhile, on Earth, Admiral Jack Stone sits in the Pentagon War Room. Around him are military leaders from every human nation. They've just finished reviewing the alien distress signal. So let me get this straight, says General Rita. Mars. These peaceful aliens are being attacked by space pirates, and they're asking us for help? That's correct, replies Dr. Tom Wells, the head of Earth's Xenobiology Department. According to their message, this Ravager fleet has technology far beyond what the Galactic Council possesses. Admiral Stone stands up. Gentlemen, ladies, this is what we've been preparing for since we made first contact 5 years ago. We always knew this day might come. The room buzzes with excitement and concern. Humanity had been largely ignored by the galactic community. Most alien species saw Earth as a nightmare world full of predators and violence. They couldn't understand how any intelligent life could evolve on such a hostile planet. What are we looking at in terms of numbers? Asks Colonel Pete Shaw. The Ravager fleet consists of approximately 200 warships. Dr. Wells reads from his notes. Each one is 3 times larger than our biggest carrier. The military leaders exchange glances. It sounds impossible. However, Dr. Wells continues, according to the intelligence we've gathered, the Ravagers have one major weakness. They've never fought against a species like us. The plan. Admiral Stone activates the holographic display showing the galaxy map. Red markers indicate Ravager positions, while blue shows the retreating Galactic Council forces. The aliens fight with honor, he explains. They announce their attacks. They follow rules of engagement. They avoid civilian targets when possible. The Ravagers exploit this predictability. But we're different, adds General Mars with a grim smile. Exactly. We come from a world where survival means adaptation, where the weak become strong or die, where every creature, including us, had to fight for every breath. Colonel Shaw leans forward. What's our response time? The fleet can be ready in 48 hours, Admiral Stone replies. We'll use the new jump drives we reverse-engineered from the Vev. Nexian technology. But we're not going in with traditional tactics. The room grows quiet as the Admiral outlines the plan. We're going to show these Ravagers what happens when you threaten innocent people in front of Deathworlders. We're going to teach them why Earth is feared across the galaxy. Closing scene. Back on Nexus Prime, the Galactic Council debates whether to accept human help. Many are afraid that bringing humans into the war might make things worse. There, savages, argues Senator Vale from the Altons. Their entire planet is a battlefield. Their entertainment involves watching creatures fight to the death, but Ambassador Kira stands firm. My people are dying. If the humans can help, we must accept. Council. Leader Dex makes the final decision. Send the coordinates to Earth. Tell them the galaxy accepts their assistance. As the message races toward Earth at faster than light speed, no one in the Council realizes they've just made the decision that will change galactic history forever. The Deathworlders are coming to war. Asterisk. Opening Earth's preparation. The story continues 48 hours later at the Luna shipyard, humanity's largest military construction facility orbiting the moon. Admiral Stone walks through the massive hangar bay where the human fleet is making final preparations. Unlike the elegant, curved ships of other galactic species, human vessels look brutal and practical. The flagship Retribution is a massive black dreadnought covered in armor plating and weapon systems. Smaller destroyers and cruisers surround it like hungry sharks. Captain Amy Reed, commander of the Retribution, approaches the Admiral. All ships report ready, sir. The Marines are loaded and eager. Stone nods. Good. Remember, Captain, we're not just fighting for humanity today. We're fighting for every peaceful species in the galaxy. Understood, sir. The crew knows what's at stake. The jump to battle. In the ship's bridge, the crew prepares for the hyperspace jump. Unlike alien vessels that announce their presence, with diplomatic signals, the human fleet runs in complete stealth mode. Jump coordinates locked, reports Navigator Ben Clark. All ships, this is Admiral Stone. The command echoes across the fleet. Today we show the galaxy what humans do to bullies. Today we prove that Deathworlders protect the innocent. The fleet vanishes in flashes of blue light. Meanwhile, at the battle zone, the Ravager fleet surrounds the Vellani home world. Massive black ships, each one a kilometer long, rain destruction on the planet's surface. Cities burn while civilian. Transports try desperately to escape. Warlord Grak commands the Ravager flagship. He's a massive creature with 4 arms and razor-sharp teeth. To him, conquest is everything. Status report, he growls to his lieutenant. The planet's defenses are broken. The Galactic Council fleet retreated after losing half their ships. Victory is ours. But before Grak can celebrate, alarms begin blaring across his ship. Unknown ships approaching from hyperspace. On the main screen, the human fleet materializes. To the Ravagers, the human ships look small and primitive compared to their massive dreadnoughts. Who dares interrupt our conquest? Grak roars. His communication officer intercepts a broadcast. They call themselves humans, from a planet called Earth, my lord. They claim they're here to help the Vellani. Grak laughs, a sound like grinding metal. These tiny ships think they can challenge. U.S., open fire. Destroy them quickly. The first engagement. What happens next shocks both the Ravagers and the watching Galactic Council forces. Instead of forming neat battle lines like civilized species, the human ships scatter in all directions. They move in unpredictable patterns, using asteroids and debris as cover. What are they doing? Asks Captain Zek aboard a damaged Nexian cruiser. His ship limps away from the battle zone with the other survivors of the Galactic Council fleet. The answer comes quickly. While the Ravagers focus their massive guns on empty space, human ships appear from unexpected angles. Their weapons are smaller, but incredibly precise. The destroyer Savage slides beneath a Ravager heavy cruiser and fires missiles directly into its engine core. The alien ship explodes in a brilliant fireball. Impossible, Grak shouts. There, fighting without honor, without formation. But Admiral Stone, commanding from the Retribution, only smiles grimly. We're not fighting for honor. We're fighting to win. Human tactics. The humans employ every dirty trick learned from centuries of warfare on Earth. They use electronic warfare to blind enemy sensors. They launch surprise attacks from multiple directions. They target enemy ships with precision strikes. Rather than engaging in traditional ship-to-ship combat, Marine dropships launch from human carriers and attack Ravager vessels directly. The alien warriors had never faced boarding parties before. The concept of enemy soldiers fighting inside your own ship was completely foreign to them. Lieutenant Mike Torres leads his squad through a Ravager ship's corridors. The aliens inside are huge and strong, but they've never fought in close-quarters combat against humans trained in urban warfare. Remember your training, Torres shouts over the sound of gunfire. These things are big, but they're slow. Use their size against them. The humans move like ghosts through the ship, using ventilation shafts and maintenance tunnels to appear where the Ravagers least expect them. The turning point. Within 2 hours of battle, the human fleet has destroyed or disabled 20 Ravager ships. Warlord Grak watches in growing horror as his supposedly invincible armada falls apart. How are these Deathworlders so effective? He demands. His tactical officer, studying human battle patterns, provides the terrifying answer. My lord, they're not fighting like any species we've encountered. They adapt their tactics constantly. They show no mercy. They exploit every weakness. And worst of all, the officer continues with fear in his voice, they seem to enjoy the battle. The warlord realizes too late what his species has unleashed. By threatening innocence in front of humanity, the Deathworlders are just getting started. The Ravager realization. Warlord Grak stares at his tactical display in disbelief. His fleet of 200 ships is rapidly shrinking as human forces tear through them with surgical precision. Red warning lights flash across his bridge while damage. Reports flood in from across his armada. Status of our forces? He demands. 68 ships destroyed or disabled, my lord, his tactical officer reports with a trembling voice. The humans are using tactics we've never seen before. On the main screen, Grak watches a human cruiser called Vengeance dart between two of his dreadnoughts. Instead of engaging both ships, it fires a special torpedo that creates an electromagnetic pulse. Both Ravager ships lose power and drift helplessly, while smaller human fighters swarm them like angry insects. They're not fighting us, Grak realizes with growing horror. They're hunting us. Admiral Stone's strategy. Aboard the Retribution, Admiral Stone coordinates the human assault with cold efficiency. His command center looks nothing like the elegant bridges of other galactic species. Screens show real-time battle data, while officers relay information in rapid, precise bursts. Captain Reed, take your group and hit their supply ships, Stone orders. Colonel Shaw, your Marines need to capture that command vessel intact. Sir, the Galactic Council is requesting permission to join the battle, reports communications. Officer Lisa Green. Stone shakes his head. Tell them to maintain distance and assist with civilian evacuations. This is what humans do best. Dr. Wells, monitoring from Earth, provides strategic intelligence. Admiral, I'm reading massive confusion in their formations. They're used to fighting opponents who announce their intentions and follow predictable patterns. Exactly, Stone replies. They're learning why predator species don't play by prey species rules. The boarding actions, the most shocking aspect of human warfare, proves to be their boarding tactics. While galactic species fight ship-to-ship battles at long range, humans actually board enemy vessels to fight hand-to-hand. Sergeant Maria Santos leads her squad through the corridors of a Ravager heavy cruiser. The aliens inside tower over the human soldiers, but size means nothing when facing trained Deathworld infantry. "Contact front," shouts Private Ryan Webb as a massive Ravager warrior charges their position. The alien creature is 3 meters tall, with natural armor plating and claws that can tear through steel. But it's never fought humans before. Santos and her team scatter, using the ship's own architecture against their enemy. While the Ravager tries to track one target, another human appears behind it with explosive charges. The corridor fills with smoke and the sound of human tactics that no galactic species has ever imagined. These Deathworlders fight like demons, screams a surviving Ravager over their communications. They appear from nowhere. They use our own ships against us. A psychological effect. What the Galactic Council observes from their safe distance amazes them more than the tactical victories. The humans are actually enjoying the battle. "Look at their vital signs," reports Dr. Alex Chun aboard the Nexian observation vessel. "Their heart rates are elevated, but they're not showing fear. They're showing ... excitement." Captain Zakov, the damaged Nexian cruiser, watches human fighters dance between enemy fire. How can they be so calm during battle? The answer comes from understanding Earth's nature. Every human in the fleet grew up on a planet where danger was constant. Weather that could kill, predators that hunted at night, diseases that claimed millions. War to humans is just another Tuesday. Warlord Grak's desperate move. Realizing his fleet faces destruction, Warlord Grak makes a terrible decision. He orders his remaining ships to target the Vellani civilian transports escaping the planet. "If we cannot defeat these Deathworlders," he snarls, "we'll make them watch innocents die." Ravager ships turn their massive guns toward the defenseless refugee ships. Thousands of Vellani families flee in terror as death approaches, but they haven't understood what makes humans truly dangerous. The human response. When Admiral Stone sees the Ravagers targeting civilians, something changes in his voice. The professional military demeanor disappears, replaced by something that makes even his own crew step back. "All ships, priority override," he broadcasts across the human fleet. "Enemy forces are targeting non-combatants. Execute Protocol 7. Captain Reed knows what that means. Protocol 7 is reserved for enemies who harm innocents. "Sir, are you certain?" "Execute immediately." Across the human fleet, restraints come off. The gloves come off. The mercy comes off. The Ravagers are about to learn the difference between humans at war and humans protecting their pack. A Vellani perspective. Ambassador Kira, aboard one of the fleeing refugee ships, watches through the viewports as something incredible happens. A human ships, which had been fighting with tactical precision, suddenly become something else entirely. They move faster, strike harder, show no mercy whatsoever. What are they doing? She whispers. The answer comes from understanding Deathworld. Evolution. When a predator's pack is threatened, it doesn't just fight. It becomes unstoppable. The unleashed response. The moment Ravager ships target civilian transports, every human in the fleet feels something primal activate. Protocol 7 isn't just a military order. It's a Deathworld instinct that has kept humanity alive for millions of years. "Admiral," Stone's voice cuts through all communication channels with deadly calm. "All human forces, you are weapons-free. Enemy has engaged non-combatants. Show them what happens when predators protect their pack." Aboard the destroyer Fury, Captain Dave Miller watches Ravager ships closing on refugee vessels. Helm, ramming speed. Target their flagship. "Sir." "That's suicide," his navigator warns. "No," Miller replies coldly. "That's justice." The civilian rescue. Human ships throw themselves between the Ravagers and the fleeing Vellani transports with no regard for their own safety. The cruiser Guardian takes massive damage while shielding 3 refugee ships, but its captain never. "Waivers. Engineering, give me everything we have," orders Captain Sarah Kim as her ship's hull buckles under enemy fire. "Ma'am, we're losing structural integrity. I don't care. Those civilians get through." In space, the other galactic species watch in amazement as human ships sacrifice themselves to save people they barely know. This behavior is completely alien to most civilized species. "Why are they doing this?" asks Captain Zek from his observation post. "Those aren't even their people." Dr. Wells, monitoring from Earth, provides the answer. Because on a Deathworld, the pack protects everyone. It's not about species. It's about what's right. The Berserker mode. With civilians under direct threat, human forces abandon all tactical restraint. Marine units that had been following standard boarding procedures now fight, like the apex predators they evolved from. Sergeant Santos and her squad encounter Ravager soldiers in the corridor of an enemy ship. But now there are no rules of engagement, no attempts at capture, no mercy. "Remember what they just tried to do," Santos growls to her team. The Ravagers, despite being larger and stronger, find themselves facing something they've never encountered. Humans fighting not just for victory, but for vengeance. Private Webb moves through the ship like a ghost, using every dirty trick learned from urban warfare on Earth. The Ravagers had adapted to fight honorable opponents. They have no defense against an enemy that fights like a cornered animal. Warlord Grak's terror. Aboard his flagship, Warlord Grak watches his fleet disintegrate. The humans aren't just defeating his forces. They're systematically destroying them with a brutality that shocks even his warrior culture. "How many ships have we lost?" he demands. 140, my lord. The humans ... They've changed their tactics. They're not taking prisoners anymore. Grak sees a human fighter ram directly into one of his cruisers, rather than let it escape. The pilot could have ejected, but chose to ensure the enemy ship's destruction. What kind of species does that? He whispers his tactical officer, studying. Human behavior patterns provides a chilling answer. A species that evolved from predators, my lord. A species where protecting the pack is more important than individual survival. The Galactic Council's shock. From their safe distance, the surviving Galactic Council forces watch humanity unleash its true nature. Ambassador Kira aboard the refugee. Ship sees human pilots performing impossible maneuvers to ensure every civilian transport escapes safely. "They're dying for us," she realizes. They're actually dying to save people they've never met. The observation hits the galactic community like a tsunami. These savage Deathworlders are sacrificing themselves to protect innocents from species they barely know. Captain Zek records everything for the historical archives. The humans have lost 30 ships protecting our civilians. They could have retreated with minimal losses, but they chose to stay and fight. The tide turns. Admiral Stone coordinates the final phase of the battle from his damaged bridge. The Retribution has taken severe damage, but he refuses to withdraw while Ravager ships remain operational. "Status of the refugee fleet?" he asks. "All civilian transports are clear, sir. They're jumping to hyperspace now." Stone nods grimly. "Good. Now we finish this." The remaining human ships, many barely functional, close in on the surviving Ravager vessels. There's no negotiation, no offer of surrender. The Ravagers crossed a line when they targeted innocents. Warlord Grak's final realization, as his flagship comes under attack from 3 human destroyers, Grak finally understands what his species has unleashed. They hadn't just attacked the Galactic Council. They had threatened innocents in front of Deathworlders. "Open communications to the human fleet," he orders desperately. "Sir?" his communications officer asks in confusion. "I want to surrender." But when the communication channel opens, Admiral Stone's response is ice cold. "You should have thought of that before you targeted civilians." The warlord realizes with growing horror that the humans aren't fighting for conquest, territory, They're fighting for something far more dangerous. They're fighting for what they believe is right. And nothing in the galaxy is more terrifying than Deathworlders with a cause. Asterisk the final stand. Warlord Grak's flagship, the Devastator, drifts powerless in space as human forces close in. His mighty fleet of 200 ships has been reduced to fewer than 20 barely functional vessels. Around him, the wreckage of his armada serves as a monument to human fury. "My lord," his tactical officer reports with a shaking voice, "the human fleet is demanding our unconditional surrender." Grak looks at the tactical display showing the approaching human ships. Many are heavily damaged, held together by determination and emergency repairs. But they keep coming, relentless as the deathworld that birthed them. And if we refuse? Based on their previous actions, my lord, they will show us the same mercy we showed the civilians. For the first time in his violent life, the warlord experiences true fear. Admiral Stone's terms. Aboard the battle-scarred Retribution, Admiral Stone opens a communication channel to the surviving Ravager ships. His uniform is torn, and his face shows the strain of battle, but his voice remains steady. "This is Admiral Stone of the Terran Defense Force. You have 30 seconds to power down your weapons and surrender unconditionally. And if we refuse?" Grak's voice crackles through the speakers. Stone's response is as cold as the void between stars. "Then you'll learn why the rest of the galaxy calls us Deathworlders." The silence stretches for exactly 30 seconds. Then, one by one, Ravager ships begin powering down their weapons. The aftermath. 3 hours later, the battle zone resembles a graveyard. Twisted metal and debris float where once mighty warships patrolled. Human rescue ships move through the wreckage, searching for survivors of both sides. Captain Reed reports to Admiral Stone, "Final casualty count, sir. We lost 43 ships and over 8,000 personnel, but we saved every civilian transport and neutralized the entire Ravager fleet." Stone nods solemnly. "Make sure the families of the fallen know their sacrifice saved millions of innocent lives." On the surface of the Vellani homeworld, the cities still burn, but the bombardment has stopped. Rescue ships from across the galaxy arrive to help with the relief effort. The Galactic Council's response. Emergency session reconvenes on Nexus Prime, but this time the mood is completely different. Ambassador Kira stands before the assembly, but she's no longer speaking as a victim seeking help. "Fellow representatives," she begins, "we have witnessed something unprecedented. A species we feared as savage has proven themselves the galaxy's greatest protectors." Council Leader Dex reviews the battle reports with amazement. According to these records, the humans could have withdrawn with minimal losses after the first hour. Instead, they fought until every civilian was safe. Senator Vale from the Hultons, who had opposed human involvement, speaks quietly. "We called them savages. We feared their violent nature. But when innocents needed protection, they were the only ones brave enough to stand and fight." The council chamber erupts in discussion as representatives grapple with a new understanding of humanity. The new reality. Dr. Wells, addressing the United Nations on Earth, explains what the victory means. "Ladies and gentlemen, humanity has just announced itself to the galaxy in the clearest way possible. We are no longer the isolated Deathworlders everyone fears." "What are we now?" asks the Secretary General. "We are the protectors. The species others call when the monsters come." Knocking. The Ravager prisoners. In the brig of the Retribution, Warlord Grak sits in a containment cell, still trying to understand what happened. A human guard, Corporal Lisa Park, brings him his meal. "Why?" he asks her. "Why did your people fight so? Hard for aliens you barely know?" Park looks at the massive alien warrior who had terrorized the galaxy. "Because that's what good people do. They protect those who can't protect themselves, even at the cost of your own lives." Especially then. Grak realizes he's looking at something his species never understood, a predator with a conscience. Message to the galaxy. Admiral Stone's final transmission echoes across known space. Received by every species in the galactic community. This is Admiral Stone of Earth. Today, humanity stood alongside the Galactic Council against those who would harm the innocent. We lost good people in this fight, but we would do it again without hesitation. Let this serve as notice to any who would threaten peaceful species. Earth stands ready to defend those who cannot defend themselves. We are Deathworlders, yes, but we are Deathworlders who choose to protect rather than prey. The legacy. Months later, as the galaxy rebuilds from the Ravager attack, everything has changed. Human ships patrol the outer systems alongside Council forces. Earth's technology is shared freely with peaceful species. Most importantly, the term Deathworlder has taken on a new meaning. Ambassador Kira, now serving as the Galactic Council's liaison to Earth, reflects on humanity's transformation from feared outcasts to beloved guardians. When we called for help, she tells the historical archive, we expected warriors. What we got were heroes. And across the galaxy, as species look up at the stars, they sleep a little easier knowing that somewhere out there, the Deathworlders stand watch. The protectors. From Earth, ready to answer when innocents call for help.